Okay, everyone, welcome to my new YouTube channel. This is the Joni Portwood Lavender Blue channel. This is going to feature my transgender related content. So today's a no makeup day. It's a rainy day. So I've got a little bit of tomato soup. So all my other stuff, my RV content or projects or anything like that is going to be on the other channel. Lavender blue is for the transgender related content. I'm having a bowl of tomato soup, so I was trying to think of the times in my life. Hello, whoever's watching. The times in my life related to being trans, but not just trans, but is the key to happiness with your life? What are the times in my life when I was the happiest? Going through life, growing up or whatever, being bullied in the past or whatever. I have a tendency to put up my guard, to have up a guard, and it's like a person on the streets where you have a mentality where you're looking both ways. You're looking over your shoulder. You're looking both ways. You're conscious of what people see when they look at you. Is my hair messed up? My hair look messed up. Am I wearing too much makeup? Am I going to get harassed? Is drama going to happen? You tend to have a tendency to put up your guard and be concerned with what people perceive and what people see, and find ways to concentrate on avoiding bad situations or avoiding things that can ruin your day. So you're not happy because you're living your life centered around other people and what they're going to do. Your life becomes centered around what other people and what they're going to do. And you're putting up these faces. When I was living as a boy, I wanted to shave my face, but I'm afraid I would look too much like a kid if I shaved. If I shaved my face completely, I would be afraid that people will think I'm a kid. So I would wear a facial hair as a man. And I wouldn't shave my face because I didn't want people to think I was a kid. Living as a transgender person in a rural area, in an Appalachian area, I don't want to dress too much like a female because I'm afraid people are going to see me and bash me as a gay person if they think that I'm a trans, And so during the time when I was going to high school and college, hello to the other person that's watching. Tell all your friends about me. Tell all your friends Lavender Blue's on. This is the transgender channel of Joni Portwood, and you can see my other channel, Joni Portwood. I'll talk about ordinary stuff like RVs, Boyd, a lot of my YouTube drama, whatever goes on. Lavender Blue, the transgender pride flag, is pink and white and blue, but to me the pink almost looks like a lavender. So instead of calling my channel Pinky Blue, I call it Lavender Blue. So kind of like the transgender pride colors. Lavender Blue. So okay, and so you live in those times to avoid in your life. Your life becomes centered around drama and trouble, and how to avoid drama and trouble in your life. You're living your life to avoid drama. You're living your life to avoid trouble. And sure, you may succeed at avoiding trouble. You may succeed in avoiding a lot of trouble, but your life's not authentic. You're not living authentically because your whole life and your whole existence is centered around other people, what they're going to think, what they're going to perceive, and even though you may not be having a lot of trouble because you're dodging the bullets. You're living your life to dodge the bullets, basically. You're not living life authentically to enjoy your life, to be yourself. You're living life to dodge the bullets. And even though that's a good way of avoiding problems in your life, dodging the bullets, dodging the gay bashers, dodging the trans bashers, dodging the other bullets. If you live your entire life focused on dodging bullets, you know, it's good to avoid bad things. But if your entire life is centered around dodging the bullets, you're never going to live authentically. And I just think you have a craving as a person to be happy and to live your life to be happy, not to dodge bullets in life. You've got to live your life to be happy and authentic with who you are. You know, you have to live your life to be authentic with who you are, not to dodge bullets. Because you want to dodge bullets and bad things that could happen to you, but you can't just live your life that. You can't just live your life to dodge bullets, the bad things that can happen. You have to stand up and have some backbone in life. You have to be able to stand up and say, "This is me. This is who I am. I'm going to be happy." You know, I have the right to do what I want to do. Not living my life to dodge other people, but living my life to do what I want to do. I'm living to make myself happy. I've spent so much of my life trying to dodge bullets and to care what other people perceive me to be. And, just like if you're a kid and you pee your pants, your whole concept and mind is focused on the fact that you peed your pants. And you don't want people to see your weakness. You don't want people to see that you peed your pants. See? You don't, and tell everyone about this channel, Lavender Blue. Kendra Ross, nice to see you, sweetheart. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you have joined me today. Okay. You spend too much time looking over your shoulder. You spend so much time dodging the bullets. You know, what did I just say? I forgot what I said. You spend your, you don't have a core. You don't have the core of who you are. You need to think about the core of who you are and your needs and what you want as a person. And dodging the bullets and avoiding this, changing that. You know, you need to live your life authentically and to be happy with who you are. And that's why in the transgender community, you know, it's good to pass and it's good to be passable and it's good to live your life to blend in normal society. But sometimes we can get so focused on that we're not being authentic with who we are and what we are. We need to, at least in our minds, be comfortable with what we are and who we are as people. Even if I'm a handicapped person or a deformed person, if I got one leg longer than the other, it's a tendency that society wants to shame people who's not normal. Society has to shame people who are deformed. When you have cleft lip or cleft palate or something wrong with you like that, you have a tendency to want to shame people for having cleft lip or cleft palate or one leg longer than the other. People say let your freak flag fly. I don't know, and sometimes I do think you should let your freak flag fly. In your mind, you should let down that guard and you should just come to the point of accepting everything about yourself. Accept the things that make you a freak. Accept the things that are not normal. Yes, society shames people who are not normal, people that are abnormal. It's the goal of everyone to be seen as normal. Growing up, I would think of mentally retarded people. I would think of mentally retarded people. This is not just transgender. Mentally retarded people. The shaming of mentally retarded people. I'm not mentally retarded, but if I was mentally retarded, I shouldn't be ashamed of who I am if I was that way or mentally challenged. I shouldn't be ashamed. As people, we shouldn't be ashamed. Society puts that vice on us and vexes us with that sense of shame, shames those who are not normal. And I guess that's the cloud that we live under growing up as people. Even being gay, I was in the closet for being gay, or I was in the closet for being transgender. There was a movie about a black girl, and this was just after slavery was abolished, and her name was called Queen, I think. I think Halle Berry played as Queen. If that's the movie I'm thinking of, it was a movie. Maybe it was another movie. Maybe it was that. Maybe it wasn't her and Halle Berry. Maybe it was that girl that played as the what's her name in that movie, that TV show. What's her name? Another girl. Anyway, she passed herself. She was half. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you, Kendra. Um, People that she was black. She was mixed. I think her mother was a slave, and her father was a white man. But she grew up and she was able to pass as a white girl during those times after slavery was abolished. She could pass as a white girl. But you just because you can pass as a white person, I guess if you're, mixed or a black, that can pass as a white person, you should still embrace what you really are. And just because you can pass and live as that. I'm not, and maybe, I'm bringing this up because in my mind, or a Jewish person, say during the times of the Holocaust, if you're a Jewish person back in Germany or some place like that, you would have to assimilate. Yeah, that's the word. You would have to assimilate. You would have to try to look like a regular person, a Gentile and not a Jew, because you don't want people to think you're Jewish because of anti-Semitism. You know, and even though we would be in a dangerous place, it's dangerous to us for what we are as Jewish people. We would have to get to the point in our lives to where we can, even though we had to have to assimilate into Gentile society as Jewish people, we would have to come to the point of in our hearts, in our minds, even if we don't tell people we're really Jewish. And I don't want to offend anybody by saying things the wrong way, but I'm just saying what I feel is a good comparison, even though other people don't agree with my comparison. I think it's a good comparison, even though people may think it's immoral to be transgender, But they have the right to their opinion, and that's good. I salute them. They have their opinion, they have the right to it. But the point is, as a Jewish person, saying that as a Jewish person, you may assimilate into a anti-Semitic Gentile culture for survival. You still, in your mind and heart, you have to embrace your Jewishness. You have to embrace it. You have to embrace it and fully accept the Jewishness, and not, loathe yourself for being that. You have to embrace that part of that who you are. And the same thing for being transgender or gay or anything else. If you can't help what you are, I mean, if it's really the fact that transgender people can't help it, we should, or any handicap or anything else, we should just learn to embrace what we are and just say handicapped people have rights, mentally ill people have rights, rights for the mentally ill, rights for the handicapped, rights for those who are irregular or different, or, another thing that society shames short men. I think it's wrong that society laughs at short men. Paul Simon was a good singer. The singer with Simon and Garfunkel, Simon and Paul Simon. He one time said was a short man, and he said that he felt that society had a prejudice against short men. Small men. Society had a prejudice against short men. So I do think society is a prejudice that being prejudiced towards someone because they're small or anything else. In that Coates 9000 series, if anybody knows who he is, you know, it just people call him a leprechaun and all the stuff about shortness. I don't think it's right to call him a leprechaun and shame him for being short. I don't think it's right to shame someone for being short. I think that's the same as shaming somebody for being fat or slow mentally or anything else. I think people can't help what they are. They can't help being short or tall or anything else. And the moment you shame the people, I think that we should, in our minds, keeping it real means we should get out from under the cloud of shame. The society shames us for who we are. In all my life, I was so scared of people thinking I could be feminine like a girl or like a transgender. But the moment I came out in my mind and admitted that I was transgender and I accepted those feelings I had of being transgender, the moment I accepted the feelings that I had, I became liberated. I felt liberated, and I could just like it was just like no feeling that I'd ever felt my entire life. The moment I liberated myself, it's just I felt liberated and I could accept myself, for who I was and the way I was. I could liberate myself and be liberated. The society wants to hate us, and like the Trump era and all the lies, we have to remember the lies are lies. Like all the things that people like, all these GOP politicians want to spread lies about transgender people. Just remember that the lies are there to shame us, shame people. Just like Hitler. That's why people ask, why do you compare Hitler to Trump to Hitler? The GOP's to and the religious people of America. The conservative religious people of America are compared to the American Taliban. It's like the American Taliban because they come up with lies. They spread misinformation about gay and transgendered people, and they spread misinformation and they demonize transgender people, and they try to bring religion into politics, and so we don't need to have ourselves shamed. So I would say today the best thing you could do, fly your freak flag, sweetie. Fly your freak flag. And I'll tell you, there are transgender people that don't pass that well or that having difficulty. They can't afford hormones. They can't afford surgery. They can't afford these things. And there's a girl I watch on Facebook Live, and she's a transgender person who doesn't have money to afford surgeries and things to make herself look a certain way. But she's coming to the point of being open, and she even has no makeup days. William Hanson Jr., nice to see you. You're in the house. Yeah, I will, William Hanson Jr. Thank you. And that's what I've been talking about, William Hanson Jr., is that the moment I came out and accepted myself, the moment we come out and accept ourselves, not just transgendered, I was trying to please everyone else. Consciously, I wasn't trying to please anybody. Consciously, I told myself I didn't care what anybody thought about me. That's what I told myself consciously. I didn't care what people thought. But I did because I was living my life centered around the assimilation, to assimilate, to be normal. I had to feel like I was normal, and there was a gay friend of mine. And, and some gay people, this is how gay society and transgender society, the gay community is split and the transgender community is split. Some gay people gay men want to be so normal. They have to be normal and they have to try to assimilate and be normal. And some gay people, there's something called the nudists, gay nudists, and they get together and they have orgies and nudism and nude swimming and stuff like that with gay guys. And I've went to the nude event with a gay guy swimming, and I love to hang out with these gay guys. And some of these gay guys are ex drag queens that used to perform drag. They're retired from drag because they're middle aged men, but they're so accepting, and they're the most accepting people. When I go to the gay bar, they always give me a hug. They always say hello, how you doing? you know. And in New York, there was Marsha P. Johnson. She wasn't always on hormones, but some people relegate drag to stage performance. When in the 60s, terms were different and people could be full-time cross-dressers or full-time drag queens. You can just be a drag queen walking down the street in the middle of the day. You can dress in drag 70% of the time as a drag queen, just like the movie To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. The only chance you're going to see Patrick Swayze in drag. I think that, and there was this, what's her name? It was Andy Warhol superstars, Jackie Curtis. She didn't always pass as a woman. Marsha B. Johnson's friend Sylvia Rivera, she was transgender, but she didn't always take hormones. It's important for us to realize that we don't have to take hormones to be transgender. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Kendra Ross. I try to be honest. I think that that's what's most important. Is that if you get down to the bare bones truth, Kendra Ross, I think all of us, we get down to the. Thanks for saying that, Kendra Ross. I really appreciate that. I appreciate everybody's watching. So anyway, what I'm saying to myself is that if I can just come down to the bare bones truth, the naked truth, and expose the naked truth, we can really help ourselves. It's like a wound. If you have a wound in your body, you have it covered up and it's festering. You got to open up that wound and you got to treat it, and that's the whole wound of society of who we are. The transgenders don't like each other because they want to assimilate. They want to be considered normal. They want to be straight women. And they won't tell a partner they go out with a guy and won't tell them they're transgender. I'm not dissing them for it, but what I'm saying, in our minds, we have to come to the point that we accept what we are. We have to come to the point of accepting what we are. And I think that people have a misconception. They think transgender is when you pass as a woman and get a sex change and doing all that stuff. That's what some people, transgender people, do. But there was one of the world superstars, her name, I got her book. I got the book of her. It's called Man Enough to Be a Woman. Jane County, who is Jane Rogers, and she's Jane County. She's from Georgia. And she wrote a book called Man Enough to Be a Woman. And she has a really nasty sense of humor, and she just really blunt, and I like her. I like to watch her and listen to what she has to say. And she said that one time in an interview on YouTube, she that was on YouTube, she said, there's all different kinds of, daytime drag queen, full drag queen, transvestite, transsexual, cross dresser, you got your, like in the 60s, they call them street queens. They would dress as women a lot. See, back then, in the 60s and early 70s, if you're transsexual, you're the person who's, um, you know, got enough money to be having a sex change. That's what a transsexual is in the 60s and 70s, is someone who's making enough money to get a sex change. And now we stay away from being called drag. But if you're a man, if you're a transgender, a non-operative transsexual, you don't want a sex change. You just want to maybe take hormones, dress as a woman, walk down the street, do some prostitution. I don't have anything against prostitution. I just want to say I support the transgender sex workers. I support the rights of sex workers. They have the rights too. They have to make a living doing what they have to do. And stuff like that. So there. Also, that's just the point. There's different, the terminology has changed down through the years. I think that if you're gay and you come out as gay, you come out. You have your formal coming out as gay. When I first came out as trans at work, I was afraid to come out as transgender at work. I was afraid to come out as trans at work for one reason. I'm not on hormones. I haven't changed my name legally. I haven't went through these procedures to be called trans. Now, I may not be able to have a sex change because I haven't fulfilled the requirements for a sex change by taking hormones. I have taken hormones for 9 years almost, but I'm saying as of then, as of 2009. As of 2009, I had not changed my name, so I started taking hormones. I just walked in dressed as a woman one day at work, and I came in because I was too scared to tell management. I was too scared because I knew they would say no to me because I haven't gone through these procedures. And you can come out as transgender, without doing all this stuff to yourself, the same as you could if you did do this stuff. I think that being transgender should be more like being gay. Oh, here we go. Your mom. What were you going to say? What? Oh, I'm going to come in a minute. The eggs are boiling. I'll start cooking the potatoes. Okay. Anyway, you should be able to come out as transgender. You don't have to do all that stuff to come out as transgender. Are you going to pass? Maybe no. You going to be legally a woman? No. But transgender is in the hands of the person who becomes transgender. The transgender person needs to come out as transgender. That is in their hands. They just like a gay person. If you're gay, you come out as gay. If you're transgender, you come out as transgender. It's an identity that you possess, and only you know you have it. Just like if you come out as gay, that's your identity, your sexual orientation, your transgenderness. So anyway, and so just keeping it real and being honest. If we're handicapped, don't be ashamed of being handicapped. Don't let society put you under a cloud of shame for what you are. Just assimilating only to survive. Sometimes you have to assimilate into society to survive, but to assimilate into society and culture to feel good about yourself. Nobody should be able to make you jump through hoops or earn the right to feel good about yourself. You should be able to feel good about yourself no matter if you earned it or not. So, and just the concept of being normal. Society beats it into our heads to feel like we're normal. Anyway, the gay guys, I was going to say before, the gay guys that do the net nudity and stuff, he said it's one of these guys, he said it's boring to be normal. Being normal is boring. Why do you need to be normal? Normal is boring. I like to be freaky. I like to be, a flaming fag. I like that. I like being a flaming fag. We can just do that and be what we are and like it. And so, just like on my Joni Portwood channel, you can check out that channel. I'm not having any makeup on, nothing, no wig, no makeup, no hair. Of course, I've got my own hair, but still. Okay. And I will see you later. Like, share, subscribe, join the revolution on the Joni Portwood channel. And I will catch you where the sun don't shine.